Okay, hey everybody, welcome to this very special episode of Lunch with Alumni. I'm really excited to have you all here today to meet three DCDS alums who have recently come back to work here at school. So I'm introducing you today to Ashton, Aikens, Amber, Deane, and Daryl Nobles. They're all awesome, and they have just started working back at DCD. So welcome, guys. We wanted to sort of introduce you to our community and have our alums and our DCDS family kind of get to know you a little better through this platform. So we would love to learn just about you, your class year, what you were up to at Country Day, and then we have some other questions for you as we go on. But I would love to just kick it off with Amber.
Sure. How we doing? Yes, I'm Amber. I graduated back in 2012. So my 10-year reunion is coming up, which is crazy.
That's right. You do have a reunion this year.
Yeah, I do. 2012. So I played a lot of basketball, obviously, while I was at Country Day. I spent some time on the track team as well. Obviously, was in my community, did a lot of community service while at Country Day. I was fortunate enough to go on and play at the University of Dayton. I played all 4 years there of basketball. And then I grad transferred. After I got my bachelor's degree from Dayton, I grad transferred to Indiana University, where I played there 1 year and completed my master's in journalism. After then, I went on to play overseas. I was fortunate enough again to keep playing basketball. I played in Ireland for 1 year, and then I went to play in Cardiff, Wales, which is in the UK, 3 years. Yeah, I was there for 3 years playing, and I also started studying. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I went back to school and decided to start studying sports psychology, so a little bit different. Yeah, I had a lot of different experiences, basketball experiences, kind of life experiences, and I figured if I could just kind of back it up with some qualifications and credentials, that would help me be able to counsel and help other student athletes throughout their career. So I decided to go back and get a degree in sports psychology, and I'm actually right now working on a doctorate in that specific field. Wanting to work with coaches as well, because as I was studying student athletes and athletes, I started to learn that actually when you kind of peel back the curtain a little bit further, it actually starts with the coaches. Coaches need some mental and psychological support as well. So that's where my area of focus is with coaches, coach well-being, and yeah, just been a lot of studying, a lot of playing basketball, and it feels really, really good to be back home.
Love that. And Amber is now the women's basketball head coach here. So very exciting. So Amber, when you were at DCD, I assume that you played for Coach Orlando, right?
I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, Ashton, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Ashton Aikens. I graduated Country Day in 2001, so I'm a little bit of the elder statesman probably on this part. After during my time here at DCDS, I participated in a lot of sports here. I played baseball under Coach Orlando, played basketball 4 years with Coach Keener here, and also played football here under Coach Dan McClain, and was fortunate enough to win a state championship in my junior year in 1999. After I graduated here from Country Day, I went on to receive an athletic scholarship to play at Northwestern University, where I played 4 years and graduated in 2005 with a degree in communications and a minor in business. After college, it was kind of, after my football career ended, kind of didn't know really what I wanted to do. So I kind of fell back on my degree, did some things in business and finance, spent a little time in sales as well, but really found my passion in coaching. And for the last 12 years before I got here, I've been coaching college football. Wow. And been an assistant, even at my alma mater at Northwestern University. Been at Southern Illinois University, Western Michigan, and most recently at Midwestern State in Wichita Falls, Texas, which was a big change being out of the Midwest. Yeah. But throughout that time, I built my family up. My wife is also a Country Day grad, Carla Aikens, formerly Carla Dorsey. She played tennis here at Country Day and graduated in 1998, so a little bit older than me, but we did share some time here at Country Day, but really reconnected in Chicago, where I was working at the time, and she also was as well. And over the years, we've kind of built up a family. I'm a father, a family of 6 right now, got 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 little girl. And, throughout that time, just moving around a lot of different places as far as coaching, because it takes you on a journey. All 4 of my kids were born in 4 different states, 4 different cities, in 3 different states. So in that time period, as the kids get a little older, and traveling around, it kind of takes on, takes you on some journeys, I would say. And, what's been good for us is getting back here at Country Day when the idea was kind of floated out there. We got a chance to speak in front of the Blue and Gold alumni group, and that kind of sparked the interest. Coach McLean, also getting a chance to meet with some of the faculty and meeting with the new headmaster, Rich. That really kind of piqued my interest in coming back here and having a chance to work back at Country Day and really stand in what I have a passion for, that is development of student athletes. And so also in recruitment, that's kind of what I do. And so admissions kind of fell in my lap, and it's been like a perfect fit for me here. And so I'm really excited to be back here at Country Day, and really good to be back in serving. So that's what I'm going to do.
Love it. Ashton, can you just remind us what are your official roles at DCD that you're doing?
My title is going to be Assistant Director of Admissions. Okay. I'm also going to be an assistant varsity football coach, and wherever else they need me in the sports area, I'm willing to help. So I'm excited about those roles and excited about the growth and potential.
Very cool.
I'll be back here at Country Day.
Awesome. Okay, thanks. Daryl, what about you?
So I'm Daryl Nobles. I graduated in 2007. At Country Day, I was similar to Ashton and Amber. I played a lot of different sports. Played baseball for a year with Coach O, ran track, ran cross country, and then I was a 4-year varsity basketball player as well. I was fortunate enough to win a state championship under Coach Keener in 2007, which was probably one of the highlights of my high school career. Sure. Definitely. At the school, I was found in the art room a lot with Miss DeVogel, which we renamed that area the D block for our advisory group, and we just stayed in the hallways and had a lot of fun. Like to greet people with smiles and just want to make school exciting and fun for everybody. After Country Day, I went to Ferris State for a year, decided I wanted to transfer out, and I ended up leaving and going to Davenport and Grand Rapids, where I finished a degree in marketing there. And played basketball for the 4 years of my college career as well. After college, I had a chance to go overseas, decided to just stay back home, wanted to just get back to work. I'm a father of 3, so I have, similar to Ashton, I have 2 boys and 1 girl. My daughter is spoiled. She's the last, she's 2, and she's the boss of the house. But, other than that, it's really just been business. My family owns a Amazon delivery service, so I work there now as one of the business managers. And just kind of, as we know, Amazon is always busy, so we're always busy and just trying to keep up with that. But I've always had I like to pop in at Country Day all the time. So I would come to basketball games. I would talk to Coach Mack. I would talk to Ross all the time just to see what was going on in the school. And when this position opened up, I definitely just kind of put my name in there, like, hey, let me tap you real quick, see if it's an opportunity. And it turned out to be. So I'm now the new men's head basketball coach. So
very cool. Well, we're excited that you guys are here. So Amber, I know you kind of touched on this a little bit, and I would love to hear from everyone on this, but can you give us some highlights or specifics about some of the things that you did after you graduated from college? So just if it was jobs, if it was, Amber, you mentioned you were overseas quite a bit. We would love to hear about just kind of your path back to DCD.
Yeah, I would say most of my time was spent overseas. Well, other than my collegiate years, I obviously spent 5 years playing collegiate basketball and studying. And then, I had the opportunity to play overseas. And while overseas, I kind of did even more growing up. But I always tell people Country Day was my trampoline. That gave me exposure to diversity, different pools of people, helped me be able to communicate, helped me get into my community and serve. And that kind of, trampolined me into these experiences overseas. I was very comfortable. I think it could be shocking and a bit of a culture shock to go overseas for some people. But for me, I was just super excited. So once I got there, I jumped on a lot of different opportunities. There was coaching opportunities, opportunities for community service, volunteering, and obviously school as well. So I earned a master's degree, and in my final year overseas in Wales, I decided to hop on a doctorate, like I mentioned, in sports psychology. Anytime I was at home, I was able to spend I was able to spend my summers at home. So I'd return home. And I joined the Pistons Academy. So I did a lot of coaching with the
Wow.
Detroit Pistons Academy, the youth. As Ashton mentioned earlier, I love serving. I love the personal development, the physical development of the youth. And that's what I tried to do. I find my passion in coaching and giving back. So joined the Pistons Academy, and I'm always providing lessons, basketball lessons to kids around the ages of like 8 to 15, just helping them kind of fulfill their dreams of playing basketball, but making sure I'm indirectly influencing some life skills as well, some executive skills like leadership, discipline, and things of that nature. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. And I'm just, like I said, happy to be back as the women's basketball coach here. And it feels really good. It feels meant to be. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Amber, how do you feel like your sports psychology background? I mean, I'm sure it impacts your coaching probably in every single thing that you do and say, but can you just give us a sense of why that's important for the people that you're coaching and for other coaches that you're working with too?
Sure. Well, everyone always says in sports it's 90% mental or at least half mental, but there is no mental work. There is no psychological effort to make yourself psychologically stronger. And now that I kind of have that theoretical experience and that education of knowing how important being in the right mental space is, I apply that when I'm coaching. I'm not much of a yeller. I'm not much of a screamer. I'm not much of a kind of punishment discipliner in that sense. I try to be a little bit more nurturing, a little bit more positive reinforcement, encouraging, because I know after studying how important those things are, especially at an age of 14 to 18, how crucial that age is in development. So I'm super grateful for my education. And yeah, whenever I get into coaching, I try to make sure I empathize. I put myself back into their shoes, which also helps me, but also I have that education to back up what I'm doing. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Ashton, do you want to give us some highlights after Northwestern?
Sure. Like I said before, I started off a little bit in finance. I took a little bit of an awkward, start to my career to get me to coaching.
Mhm.
But I think every experience that I had leading up to coaching prepared me for what I'm doing today. Again, I started off, honestly, I started off as a day trader at the Mercantile Exchange in Chicago.
Mhm.
And just to have that experience, to kind of see the other side a little bit and kind of maybe see a little bit what I didn't want to do, but also just have that experience, I think served me well. And then I kind of transitioned to working in some admissions department for some colleges like a DeVry or AIU, and kind of saw a little bit side of admissions in that area, and then kind of segue into coaching. And so it kind of gave me a little bit of sales and business background, and also helped me figure out more so probably what I didn't want to do,
Mhm.
and also pushed me towards my passion and see what I was meant to do. And that kind of, explains it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, once I got out of that career field and went into coaching, I started off as a grad assistant at a small college. I didn't go right back to Northwestern. I started off at a small college called Trinity International University in Deerfield, Illinois, which is about 30 miles north or 20 miles north of Evanston, where I went to college at. And it was a good place for me to start because it wasn't the big Division I school that I started at. It was a NAI school. It was a Christian school, so it had different values. And it taught me a lot of different things. And it wasn't maybe where I initially thought I was going to be, but it was where I needed to start. And from there, I went back to Northwestern, not in a full-time coaching role, but more of a support role as a quality control coach. And that gave me a chance to kind of sit back and evaluate, what the big time college scene was about, being in the Big Ten. And I did that role for 2 years, and then finally got back into a more major role of having a direct coaching role at Southern Illinois, where I spent 3 seasons.
Wow. Okay.
And it was a little bit different. It was obviously Division I FCS, but it also was different than Division I. And so it was another level. So at that point, I had been at 3 different levels. Spent 3 seasons at Southern Illinois, and then found my way back to Michigan at Western Michigan as a full-time position coach. And so that really kind of brought me full circle back to FBS football. Spent 2 seasons there, had some good players there where I coached at, and then found myself in the world of coaching. You know, they say you're not a good coach until you get fired. Well, I got fired. So I got fired at Western Michigan and found my way back to Midwestern State, and which was a different level, was Division II now, and also a different part of the country.
Yeah.
And so it was Texas. And like they say, everything's bigger in Texas when it comes to sports. And that kind of opened up, gave me another set of eyes on the coaching world. And so from that standpoint, at Midwestern State, had a lot of success there, won a conference championship there in this last previous year. One of the more successful programs in the state of Texas in Division II football. Got a chance to work for a legendary coach in Bill Maskell, and for 3 seasons. And it was a great experience for me. Took on some new different roles, whether it was director of recruiting there at Midwestern State, where it gave me an opportunity, also became a passing game coordinator there as well. It just gave me a lot of different roles and responsibilities there that I was able to take to my next role, which is here as director of admissions.
Mm-hmm.
So my college football coaching career and also my college playing career have also prepared me for this role as a assistant director of admissions here at Country Day. And it's also given my family a chance and my kids a chance to kind of experience a lot of different things, be a lot of different places, and get to know a lot of different people from a lot of different cultures and different backgrounds. And more importantly, is giving me a chance to pour into the student athlete in their development, not just athletically, but also socially and academically as well.
That's really cool, Ashton. I want to go back to something that you said, which I think is really important. And I appreciate you bringing it up, because I think a lot of times, Country Day students leave college and they think, okay, I'm going to get like my perfect job immediately. And it's going to be great. And like, this is how it's going to roll. And I'm going to love every minute of it, until I retire. And I just so appreciate you bringing up that you were doing day trading and you decided that wasn't for you. Because I think it's really important to like learn from other people who, have these experiences, because I'm sure all 4 of us sitting on this call have not had our perfect job, right out of college. So thank you for bringing that up. And also just, and the best part is that if anyone has additional questions, they can just pop down to your office and see you. But if somebody is interested in getting into coaching and has had, a day trading experience or a different type of job outside of athletics right after college, how would you recommend someone get into that field?
Well, I wouldn't always recommend the route that I took, but because I think I kind of took a roundabout way to get to where I'm at.
Okay.
But once you find out what you're passionate about, I would say make time for those passions, whether you're interning. And I would say make sure you're always reaching out and just keeping an eye out for those opportunities.
Love that.
You may not always get the best paying job, or it may not have a price tag attached to that opening or that position. You may have to volunteer, as many people that are in coaching. We always say this: we don't get into coaching because of the money. Okay. And it has to be a passion for you. And if you're chasing it just for the money, I think you're in the wrong industry. I think you have, like Amber said, you have to have an attitude for servant leadership. I think you have to have a passion for that. I think you have to have a passion for young people and the development of young people. And so follow your passions. And when you find opportunities to pursue that passion, no matter what they're paying, try to do it. Sometimes it's not as easy if there isn't a lot of pay involved in there, but try to attempt to pursue that passion no matter what the cost is. And you have to make sacrifices for it. And you have to make sacrifices for the things that you really want to do. And I think if you follow the passion, everything else will follow. And eventually you'll end up in a place where you want to be at.
Yeah. Love that. Did you use any of your previous connections at Northwestern or anything like that after you decided you wanted to leave finance?
Yeah, sure. The first thing I did was contact all my previous coaches, and some of them I had played for.
Okay.
Whether it was high school, Coach McLean has always been intricate, and been an intricate part of what I've decided to do in coaching. I've always kept those lines of communication open. Because as people say, it's not always about what you know, it's who you know. And reaching back and communicating with those people. Pat Fitzgerald, who wasn't the head coach when I played there, was a position coach when I always kept those lines of communication open. He was a very major part in helping me find roles at different places, and always very supportive of my career.
Wow.
And always keeping those doors open. A lot of doors opened up just because I was simply available and present, and people asking me what was I doing, and always making myself available, always giving back, always showing up when there was opportunities, whether it was alumni outings, where there was chances to volunteer in programs that the university was offering. That's what I mean by just being present and being available.
Yeah.
Those opportunities will arise if you are available.
Really important. I love that. Thank you. Daryl, okay, give us some highlights post-college.
So post-college, career-wise, I worked at Quicken Loans to start.
Cool. Okay.
Similar to Ashton, you get the job and it's like, man, I'm set. This is where I'm gonna be for the next 30 years. And it's like, you know what? I like it, but there's something missing. So then you're searching for what's missing, and for me, it's always been, I like teaching. I like to be able to take what I've learned and what I'm continuing to learn and give it down and pass it down to the next generation and always give back. So I found myself working in different training type roles. So I worked at a small company, Infinity Contact, where I was a team lead and trainer for new hires. And all of my lessons and the way I would teach and train was like a coach. So people started to call me coach. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into coaching, but the idea was already there. People saw it in me. So it is what it is. And then when I do training now at the Amazon business, it's the same process. Like I guess how I talk or the way that we speak, once you're an athlete, and it just comes out of you. It comes out of your pores. And you demand a certain thing, a certain way of competition, a certain way of going about things, your effort, all of that, it just comes out. I started to work at a church, so as a team ministry leader, and that really like opened my eyes to like passion of just really working with, like Amber said, like Ashton said, this age group of 14 to 18, where they're trying to figure it out on their own. And I like to take the role of like the big brother, or the cool uncle is what they're saying. I guess I'm getting a little bit older, so I have to be the uncle now, but like the cool uncle role where you can just come and just talk. And, I'm going to give you advice the same way that your parents would, but in a different approach where it's not as fire and brimstone, but it's more like more nurturing, easy to talk to, that guidance that we all needed when we had those people that we would talk to when we were that age. And just to be that now that gave me like the most joy. And I realized like, it's not a money thing for me. It's really just, following that passion and being able to just help as many people as possible, as many teens as possible. So, and then once this coaching stuff opened up, similar to Ashton, just having those connections, never burning bridges. Me and Ross are Instagram friends. So literally I would like his pictures of his kids. He would like my pictures. So, we just started to talk and being available. And just, hey, like he wanted to just talk from an alumni point of view of what we needed for the program. And then the conversations continue to roll into like, hey, what are you doing? Well, would you be interested in coaching? And it just worked itself out that way. So, that's kind of me in a nutshell. It's not much, but it's just like, I like to give back. I like to be around. I like to just pour out just as much as we can. So.
I love that. Can you talk a little bit about how you see the crossover between what you were doing, training people in a job setting versus, how you approach coaching, and kind of like how you view that and how you take those lessons from your previous positions and put it into what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. So my approach with training and my approach with coaching is pretty similar, where I like to be personable. I want to know what pushes you. What may motivate you may not motivate the next person. So to get to know someone and what really pushes them, that's where I try to focus my training and my coaching on. Some people are money motivated. So they're coming to work, they want to make as much as they can. that's not everyone's point of view. That's not everyone's motivation. So just finding what that motivating factor is and really trying to push on that. Some people can take more harsh criticism. Some people can't. With coaching, it's the same thing. We've all been on teams where it's like coach can yell at certain people one way, but you can't yell at everybody that same exact way because they're not going to react the same way. But really taking the time to get to know the people, get to know your staff, get to know your players. So they don't just see you as just a coach, but they see you as sort of like a friend. And in my experience, the coaches that have taken that approach with me, I'm willing to run through the wall for them. But I also know that they're willing to run through that same wall with me. And that's how I go about it as well. With the Amazon business, like, we're out delivering packages. I technically don't have to get out there and deliver, but I want to show my staff that I'm willing to do it too. So on hot days like today,
Wow.
I'll go out there and get in a truck and throw the vest on and go out and deliver packages too. It's not fun getting in and out of a van at 6'4". It's hard on the back a little bit, but I'm willing to do it, and they appreciate that. So it's easy for me to talk from their point of view and like, hey, this is what I experience when I'm out there. Let's try it this way.
Wow. Yeah.
They know that I'm out there doing it too. So
That's awesome. You're just kind of involved in every component of
absolutely.
the business. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So final question for everybody. What are some of your hopes for your role at DCD, and what are you kind of most excited about with your new positions? Amber?
Oh man, so much. I'm I'm still over the moon. I mean, I tell everyone I still have this crazy dopamine rush that just has not ended since I got this position. Inevitably, a state championship is always in the conversation with our team. We're fortunate enough of a program where no matter how much we don't talk about it, everyone will talk about it. That's always the goal. It's always it's not even an elephant in the room. It's, I guess, a trophy in the room. That's just the heart with our team. It's a good problem to have. That's always the aim. So straight away, that's the goal. That's the aim is the state championship. It's there, but more than anything, I know what begets that is me building relationships with our staff, with the team. That's number one for me right now. I know state championship is the goal and winning is the goal, but for me, it's all about focusing on the steps to get there. And the main step is building relationships as a new coach. And I was really lucky with my basketball career. I actually finished my career in the league. I was named an MVP this last season.
Wow.
And a lot of people looked at me and said, why are you done playing? You're at your peak. And I tell people, well, since I'm at my peak, now's the best time to give like what I have to my players. So every time I'm in the gym with them, I'm getting on the court with them. I'm defending them. I'm passing, rebounding. I'm still in game shape. I'm able to help them be a lot better players because of where I am right now, the caliber player that I just finished off being. So right now, I'm just focusing on giving everything that I have, being my absolute best so that I can bring out the best of these players and our coaching staff. And just trying to focus on the steps, trying to focus on the small wins, small gains each day that lead to the end goal of where we want to get to. And then long term, again, I just want players that are playing for me now that 10 years they come back the same way I want to come back to Country Day. And I jumped on this opportunity with the athletic department. That's what I want. I want players coming back, begging to come back, get in the gym, have conversations, join the staff, join the school. I want them to have that type of experience, even if we don't win every game, or if we win and lose some games. No matter what, I just want to make sure these relationships I'm building are long lasting and genuine.
Awesome. Thanks, Amber. Go ahead, Ashton.
Well, I would say, my goals for my role here at Country Day, being an admissions, I look at my role as being the doorstep to Country Day, the front door mat that you see, that welcome mat. And for a long time, I've been either a coach or I've been a player, and I've kind of always been in the fire and always been in that light. I'm looking forward in this role to kind of being behind the scenes and also being a driving force for excellence. And to me, that's what Country Day means. It means excellence in the classroom and on the football field. And then more importantly, it's tradition and legacy. When I look back, everywhere I've been around the world, every place that I've been in this country, people know Country Day. They know the brand name, and they say where you're from and where'd you go to school, and when you say Country Day, it means something, and it's helped me in my career. It's helped me be recognizable, even if I wasn't. The Country Day name and brand is nationwide, and people know it. And so I just want to continue that. I want to continue that tradition. I want to be a part of building and continuing that tradition of excellence, and help bringing the most talented students academically, athletically, and socially. And that is in, arts and athletics and academics. Those three things is what I want to continue, what I want to help build here at Country Day. And so that's what I want my new role, and that's what I hope for in my new role here. And I'm very satisfied with, seeing that success and help supporting and Daryl in building their teams and building their legacy and continuing the legacy that's always been the foundation that's already been set by the people before us. And so that, to me, that's important. I think to a lot of alums, that's important.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashton. Daryl?
For me, initial goal, honestly, is just to help create a product that our alumni base is proud of. When I watch certain schools, especially when I watch like college football, the big games, like you look on the sideline and their alumni are just there. Some of these players have been out of college for 8, 10, 12 years, but they're still coming back and they're pouring into the current athletes. That's a big focus of mine, is really letting our new students understand, like, we have your back from an alumni point of view, and for our alumni to understand that, our product that we're putting out there is the quality of excellence, as Ashton mentioned, that we're accustomed to. So that initially, that's the initial goal, and long term is I really enjoy being a door opener. Without Country Day, I can kind of speak for the three of us or the four of us on this call that, without Country Day, some of the opportunities that we've been allowed in our lives, we wouldn't have gotten there. We wouldn't have had these chances, and I don't take that for granted. The school has opened up a lot for me and created a lot of avenues that, from where I was coming from, they wouldn't have been there. They may have been there, but they were like very slim. So to be a door opener for the next batch to be able to experience this and take advantage of this. I watch like these college coaches when their kids get drafted and they're just excited. Like, I really want to sit there with some of my high school students when they get their first offers, like that type of joy, and to see the joy in their face of, hey, I actually get a chance to go to college. I may be first generation, second generation of my family to go to college, and to know that I helped open that door 10 years down the line, that's the most satisfying thing. Winning will come if we're doing the right things as a group. That's the result of the process. As long as we're taking the right steps, as Amber said, that the winning's gonna come. And that part I know it'll be there. But if our focus is really on just creating the best young men and women, creating the next leaders, opening doors for the right types of students, and really just pushing excellence and preaching excellence and teaching it in everything that we do, how we present ourselves and how we present our program, everything else will fall in place. So that's my goal, is just putting that excellence back out there, wearing it across our chest everywhere that we go, putting the fear back into other schools. For sure.
I like it.
We're all competitive, so yes, putting the fear back in other schools so they understand, like, no, we're back and we're here to stay again. So
love that. Well, thank you so much to the three of you. You guys are the best. Our DCD family is extremely lucky to have you, and for our students to meet you and interact with you is just going to be awesome. So thank you again for doing this. If anyone has any questions about your careers and, your time at DCD, is it okay for them just to reach out to you at your Country Day emails?
Absolutely.
Awesome. You guys can also find them in the hallways and in their offices. So thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys soon.